Alright guys, today I'm going to be going over the new covenants in Shadowlands. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know too much about them. From what I do know, from just briefly looking at it for about 0.5 seconds, is there are 4 of them. I don't really know what they're used for. I think that you get like an ability at the end of it or something. As we can see here, we're going to go over it to see what classes get what. What I think of the abilities, if I feel like they're cool, if I feel like they're not cool, if I feel like it's something that's going to kind of make the class not feel as great when you have to choose between them, how difficult it's going to be able to swap between them with any information that I actually, can figure out. So, I want to, just take a quick look at this. So let's take a look here. 4 ruling powers control the Shadowlands, each of which is in desperate need of aid from the heroes of Azeroth. In exchange for your help, the Covenants are willing to share a piece of their power and access to the rewards and their blessing, boons, or temptations they have to offer. As you level up on your initial journey through each of the domains, you'll get to experience the abilities they have to offer firsthand before you ultimately choose the Covenant you wish to dedicate yourself to. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. So you actually get to choose everything before you actually choose. So we have the Kyrians, the Necrolords, the Night Fae, and the Venthyr. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that looks right. The denizens of Bastion, these angelic beings, embrace humility and service their order. Comprised of liches, warlords, and spies, the Necrolord Covenants calls Maldraxxus home. They make up the army that defends the Shadowlands. Guardians of Nature, the Night Fae, inhabit Ardenweld and shepherd beings through the cycle of life and death. It was through their aid that the demigod Cenarius was able to make his return to Azeroth during the events of the Cataclysm. Venthyr making their home in Revendreth. The vampiric Venthyr are the punishers of the unworthy, seeking to rehabilitate the sinful souls sent to them by the Arbiter. So this doesn't really tell us anything about them. This kind of seems like an intense version of like the Aldoran Scryers, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Aldoran Scryers came out in Burning Crusade. You chose one or the other. I don't think it had a significant impact in your gameplay. There's some gear you can get. But yeah. When the time comes to ally with one of these 4 houses, you'll want to carefully consider the abilities the Covenant will provide you. Each provides 2 abilities tailored to the theme of the Covenant. The first of these is the Covenant's signature ability, which is available to all Covenant members regardless of class, race, or specialization. This ability helps you explore and engage with the new world in new ways and gives you a unique tool to help solve the problems you encounter in Shadowlands. The second ability is specific to your class and gives you a new spell or power to use in combat. To give you an idea, we put together a list of Covenant. Please keep in mind these are work in progress. Okay, so these are the signature abilities we're going to look at first. And unfortunately, the Covenant provides class abilities, but not some. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't think we actually have all the information on Covenants. From what I can see here, I don't actually know. So I guess like my biggest question is, what happens if you choose wrong? It says, carefully consider the abilities the Covenant will provide you. You can change your mind. It's not permanent. Well, the question I have is, what do you like? How often can you change your Covenant? Are certain Covenants better for certain specs? So like, what happens if I am a Resto Shaman in Raid, but an Enhancement Shaman in PvP? It looks like it's not spec wide. So that answers that question. I don't know how difficult it is to change these. I guess that's my biggest concern. I don't really like. So, for example, just looking at Death Knight, there's four talents here. In a perfect world, I wish we could have all 4. But maybe, like, I want to kind of look at it like, the best way optimistically is just look at it like a talent row, and you can only choose one of the 4. It just sucks when it feels like there's like really cool things locked behind something that you can't obtain for all of it, I guess, I'm not saying it can't work. I would say that the biggest problem with Covenants, if there's going to be a problem, is how often you can change and how difficult it is to actually gain the ability when you change. So let's go look at the core abilities. Summon Steward. Call your Steward to bring you a file of Serenity that can be consumed to restore some health some of your health and remove all curse, disease, poison, and bleed effects. Your steward additionally offers access to selection of useful amenities each once per day. So this could be interesting. And now that I'm looking at this, I mean, if I'm fighting against an assassination rogue or some or of the sort, I might want the Kyrian, right? Went through the shadows, appearing at the target's location. Interesting. This is movement speed. Oh, not. This is like a gap closer, essentially. This is like a defensive thing. Form a shield of flesh and bone that prevents damage equal to a portion of your maximum health. Standing near the corpse of a defeated enemy, when the ability is cast, will create a larger shield. Form a shield of flesh that prevents damage equal to a portion of your maximum health. I mean, this sounds wonderful from a defensive standpoint as well. It's in the world, not in arena. Oh, this actually is only in the open world and not in arena. This just in. Okay, yep. So I actually don't care about any of this at all. So, yeah. Might as well read it since we're 3/4 way done. Turn to a Vulpin, increasing movement speed. You may reactivate Soul Shape to teleport to a short distance forward. Additional cosmetic forms can be earned and collected through variety of gameplay. Alright, I don't really care too much about this since it's not really an arena. Maybe you guys do care about this. Doesn't really look like it. Can you use this in like raids and stuff? Someone said it's not stated. No, that's not true. Doesn't stay up more. Okay, maybe this is an arena. I don't know. I'm getting mixed opinions here. I'm getting, some fake news. Let's just go and take a look at the Covenant class abilities. As you can see, some are still work in progress. So let's just kick it off with Death Knight. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Death Knights. I feel like Death Knight's a pretty cool class. I was happy to see some of the stuff that we saw in the class changes. Reducing the damage they deal to you and dealing arcane damage over time. So this is like a defensive, offensive thing. Shackling unworthy cooldown is reduced when you damage the affected enemy with a rune spending attack. Rune spending. Oh, that's like anything. So this is like something that maybe you won't want to attack the person. I'm not really sure. I mean, this is like really, really vague. Reduce the damage they deal to you, and you deal arcane damage. So if it reduces the damage they deal to you by 20%, that could be decent. If it reduces the damage they deal to you by 1%, it's obviously terrible. Also depends on how much arcane damage you deal over time. And it gets reduced when you attack. I'm not really sure how good it's going to be. It's really, really vague. A heavy mist surrounds you, increasing your chance to dodge. That doesn't sound like great. Deals shadow damage over time to enemies within range. Every time it deals damage, you gain additional runic power up to a maximum amount. Is this like an on-use? These both seem defensive. I wonder if these two are offensive. Sprout an additional limb for a limited time, dealing shadow damage to nearby enemies. If an enemy is further away from you, they are pulled to your location. Wow. This sounds very good. This is an additional death grip. It's also additional shadow damage. Will this scale with Death Knight Mastery for Unholy? Because I think Unholy makes you do more shadow damage. I feel like that sounds really powerful. If an enemy is further away from you, they are pulled to your location. Does this work on multiple people? Is this an AoE? Replaces death and decay. Corrupt the target's ground, causing shadow damage over a duration time to targets within the area. Afflicted enemies deal reduced damage to you up to a maximum amount, and their power is transferred to you as an equal amount of strength. Holy crap, that seems kind of insane. While you remain within the area, your necrotic strike and heart strike will hit additional targets. Okay, this is standard for death and decay. I don't know how good this is going to be. So far, from what I'm seeing, I think Abomination Limb is going to be the coolest one. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't really think that these abilities are that cool. Increase dodge, gain runic power, reduce damage you take. I mean, it's a nice defensive. Sure, maybe that's a fun ability to press. I would say that for the most part, this one seems like the most fun. You get an additional grip. You're doing additional damage. This is literally just replace Death and Decay. It's like a beefed up version of Death and Decay. If I'm being 100% honest, not the most interesting abilities I've seen. So let's just keep going down, see if anything is a little bit more interesting. I'm really curious to see what Blizzard wants to do with Demon Hunters. I think Demon Hunters is the only class that has never existed before the prune of abilities. So what are they going to give them to make them fun? Carve runes into the ground in front of you, which detonate to deal arcane damage and shatter lesser soul fragments. Is this just the theme of the Kyrian, that it's all arcane? Nothing arcane here. Okay, just random. Okay. And shatter lesser soul fragments. I mean, this could be really good. Shattering lesser soul fragments is nice for healing right now. I guess that's it. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. Really depends on how much arcane damage it does. Brand enemy with the mark of Venthyr, reducing their melee and casting speed and inflicting shadow damage over time. That seems like it could be pretty frustrating. It's almost like it's like a melee and healer or caster Curse of Tongues. That seems pretty crazy. Activating Metamorphosis applies Sinful Brand to all nearby enemies. This seems pretty good. So you have an on use of reducing melee and attack speed, and it dealing additional shadow damage, and then on top of that, it will activate an additional time. So you're doing more damage when you're in that meta with the shadow damage, and their casts are slower and their melee is slower. So I mean, Sinful Brand actually does sound pretty cool. Charge to an enemy, because for some reason demon hunters need more mobility. Inflicting nature damage and rooting them. Okay. The target is marked for a period of time, increasing the fury the demon's bite and shear against them. I guess that's their main ability. You may reactivate the hunt every 30 seconds to teleport behind the marked target and ignoring line of sight. I'm sorry, what? Hold on. Charge to the enemy, inflicting nature damage and rooting them. The target is marked for a period of time. I wonder how long. So, basically, just with my insane paint skills here. What's the range? Like, what if this is just Nagran Arena right here? You know what I'm saying? Nagran Arena. And you have a healer over here that's marked. Right? And he's just going for a drink, and you're just a demon hunter. And you're just like, yo, fuck it, Bay Life. And you're just like, woo! And then you just like stun this guy and then just start popping off on him. Is that how that's gonna work? And then you're gonna get like mana burn and shit? Can you dispel the mark? That's a good question. Is the mark dispellable? Interesting. If the mark's dispellable, it sounds pretty dog shit. Depending on the range, I mean, it seems pretty crazy. I mean, let's be honest. I'm gonna keep saying it. We're gonna worry more about fun than balancing. I feel like this seems like a pretty fun ability to press. So, cool. Kindred Spirits. Form a bond with an ally on a cooldown. You may empower the bond for a period of time, granting an effect based on your partner's role and granting them a role based on your role. So this is Symbiosis. Symbiosis is actually coming back. Symbiosis was probably one of the coolest spells to ever be added to World of Warcraft, but it was also one of the most ridiculously unbalanced spells to ever be added to World of Warcraft. Just for example, if I played with a Feral Druid on my team as a Resto Shaman, they got Spirit Wolves and I got Prowl. But if a Feral Druid played with a Disc Priest, he got Dispersion and the Disc Priest got Cyclone. Who the fuck balanced that? That makes no sense. So, if it's old Symbiosis, somebody needs to get fired. If it's new revamped Symbiosis where it feels like everything is good or decent or moderate or whatever you want, then I'm okay with that. But if I play with a Feral Druid and they're getting Spirit Wolves, but I play with my Disc Priest and they get freaking Dispersion. Keep in mind, Disc Priests literally don't even have Dispersion. Resto Shamans literally don't even have Spirit Wolves. Whatever. I think it's okay to bring back. I think Symbiosis was probably one of the coolest things. Oh, this is actually different. Okay, you're right. Someone said granting you an effect based on your partner's role, and granting them an effect based on your role. So that sounds like there's going to be 3. There's going to be tank, healer, and DPS. It's not abilities, it's an effect. So it's like a weaker version of Symbiosis. Now, that's, you know, probably easier to balance. I'm curious to see what it'll be. For a period of time, Druid spells you cast increase your damage, healing, and haste by a percentage stacking. If you spend a period of time idle, the frenzy overcomes you, consuming a percentage of your health per stack, stunning you, and then ending. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I mean, from an arena standpoint, this could be horrible. Like, if you go for a drink, and then you become idle, you start taking damage, you just get fucking stunned, like... I don't know how I feel about that. Command a swarm that heals or deals shadow damage to a target that increases the effectiveness of your periodic effects on them. That seems pretty solid. I mean, you can command a swarm that starts healing and then increases the effectiveness of your healing. Or you could play a boomkin and you could do shadow damage and increase the effectiveness of your dots. It sounds good. Upon expiration, travels to a new target within range, alternating between friend and foe up to a set number of times. Wow, this seems like a fucking god tier version of Chi Wave. You know how Chi Wave, like, bounces from a friendly to an enemy to a friendly to an enemy, but it's actually just horrible? It seems like just a fucking jacked up version of Chi Wave. Sounds pretty good, though, honestly. It sounds like a fun ability to press. I can get behind it. Channeling a rapid flare of 16 druid spells and abilities over 4 seconds. What is it? Is this random? Call upon the Night Fae for an eruption of energy, channeling a rapid flurry of 16 druid spells and abilities over 4 seconds. Does anyone here play Hearthstone and play Yogg Saron, where it literally just starts shooting random spells at random enemies? Like how do I feel about this, man? Like, what if it just, like, NS is a pet or something? And then, like, wild growths, like, all my mana and shit, you know? Like, I don't know. I mean... You will cast Moonfire, Wrath, Regrowth, Rejuvenation, Thrash, Rake, Shred, and Iron Fur on appropriate nearby targets, favoring your current specialization. I mean, so the first thing I have to ask is... Are the spells going to cost mana when you convoke the spirits? Second of all, I'm going to be honest. If I press this ability... and then all of a sudden, I cast a combination of 16 regrowths and rejuves. It's just going to be like, full hots everywhere. Everyone's full HP. We're all fucking chilling. That could be kind of fucking insane. You know? Like, literally just fucking turning out hots. What if you're a fucking feral druid? And then in the span of 4 seconds, you get shredded 16 times, just with Incarn up. This ability seems kind of fucking insane. I don't know. I mean, this shit won't be an arena. I think it will be an arena. It seems pretty crazy. You guys are all freaking out, but I mean, I'm excited to see what happens. If it's broken, hopefully it gets nerfed. But we'll see. Could be crazy. I don't know a damn thing about Hunter. I don't know a damn thing about Hunters, honestly. Fire resonating arrows at the target location to fill the arrow with echoing anema. The effect causes your attacks to ignore line of sight, the enemies in the area. And you have an increased critical strike chance against them. This seems absolutely fucking insane. This seems absolutely fucking insane. This seems like a hunter's dream. Someone said Mike's fucked. Is my mic fucked up right now? It seems like a hunter's dream. What's the cooldown? What's the duration? Is there a way to get away from it? I guess you could get away from it, but you know, I gotta say, does it seem broken? Sure. Does it seem fun? Let's do it. I think the game needs to have a fun aspect, and then you work on balancing it. If it's really broken, maybe make it a longer cooldown. Maybe make it a shorter duration. Maybe make it so you do less damage if you're shooting someone through a pillar. You know, work on making the game fun, and then work on balancing it, in my opinion. It looks like a cool, unique ability. I like it. Fire a shot at your enemy, causing them to bleed. Shadow damage over a period of time. Each time flayed shot deals damage, you have a chance to gain Flayer's Mark, causing your next kill shot to be usable on any target, regardless of the current health. This seems pretty decent. Maybe Resonating Arrow is literally useless. Maybe As a hunter, do you really care if people line of sight you? I feel like you literally could just chase around pillars. Like, you know? Do you really care that much about this? Maybe on specific maps like Dalaran or something? You know? But not on every map, right? I mean, maybe this is just better. You're literally bleeding shadow damage over time, and then, you could just use kill shot regardless of HP. Kill shot could be absolutely insane, you know? At full, you know? It really depends. Throw a deadly chakram at your current target, which will rapidly deal additional shadow damage. Each time chakram deals damage at different targets, damage is increased, and you generate additional focus. Just like a little damage ability. Could be chill. I'm really excited to see the mage stuff here. Conjure a Radiant Spark that causes arcane damage instantly and additional damage over time. So, personally, I have always liked when... I really liked in MoP when it felt like Fire, Frost, and, you know, whatever. They all kind of had a damage over time ability. So I like to kind of see that maybe one can come back. You know, if you're getting trained, you feel like you're having a difficult time casting, you have an option to maybe, you know, play instant stuff. Target takes % of increased damage from your direct damage spells stacking each time they're struck. This effect ends after a number of spells. Sounds like it could be pretty insane. Especially maybe now I see if you're free casting, it could be even more insane. Conjure mirrors to torment the enemy for a time whenever the spell casts. Whenever the target casts a spell or ability, a mirror is consumed to inflict shadow damage, and their movement and cast speed are slowed. This seems really crazy. Holy fuck. So how do I explain this? This seems like an Eye of Leotheros combined with a Curse of Tongues. Right? Like, whenever the target casts a spell or ability, a mirror is consumed to inflict shadow damage, so they're getting damage taken, and then their movement and cast speed are slowed. Could be pretty insane. The final mirror will instead inflict shadow damage to the enemy, rooting and silencing them. Wow. That seems pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. I like it. Affliction Mage. Is it dispellable? You know? How long is the silence? How many mirrors are there? There's some questions that need to be answered, but it seems cool. I like it. Transform into a powerful Skeletal Mage for a period of time. While in a form of Skeletal Mage, your Frostbolt, Fireball, and Arcane Blast are all greatly enhanced, and your spell damage is increased. I don't know how good this is going to be. Depends. Greatly enhanced isn't enough. You know, what's enhanced? 10%? 20%? Am I going to have fucking to deal with greater Frostbolts next expansion? I don't know. Draw your ground beneath you for a period of time, dealing nature damage over time to nearby enemies while channeling your ability cooldowns are reduced. I don't know if this is going to be good or not. Just depends. Really depends. Monk. Chat, I'm going to be honest. I really have to poop. Holy crap, there's still so much. Oh my god, alright. I gotta pinch it. Monk. For a short duration, your master is increased by an additional percentage. Windwalker's Rising Sun Kick cooldown is reset instantly, and your Rising Sun Kick reduces the cost of your chi abilities. Wait, this seems really crazy. That seems really good. Wow, that seems really good. You're just gonna sit there and spam RSK? Just... Oh, no. I'm misunderstanding it. You press it, and then your RSK cooldown is reset. Yeah, it's not as crazy as I thought. Essence Font cooldown is reset instantly and heals nearby allies when the challenge starts and ends. Yeah, it's not... I mean, this is like... I don't know. I've seen something like this before. It's like okay. I don't think this is gonna be crazy. Divine Toll instantly casts Holy Shock, Avenger Shield, or Judgment on several targets within range based on your current specialization. Depends on what the cooldown is. I feel like I don't know. Just big heal, big damage, one or the other. Well, AoE heal, AoE damage. Hollow the target area, dealing shadow damage split among enemies and restoring health split among injured allies over time. I feel like paladins don't actually have HOTS or anything, so this could be interesting. The land remains filled with anema, causing shadow damage to all enemies. You gain benefits of concentration while you're in the area. Not really that crazy, in my opinion. Priest. Gain the boon of the Ascended, granting access to Ascended Nova and Ascended Blast, and increase your movement speed. Both abilities damage your enemies, heal your allies, and build power that will erupt in a powerful explosion of damage and healing at the end of the boon. This seems literally fucking insane. This has like 4 effects. Increases movement speed, does damage, heals allies, erupts for more damage, more healing. Like, Seems pretty decent. It could be. I don't know. Assault an enemy's mind, dealing shadow damage and briefly reversing their perception of reality. For a period of time, the next damage they deal will heal their target. And the next healing they do... Wait, this seems really cool. This seems really cool. I don't know how good it's going to be. But this seems really, really cool. Wow. This is an awesome fucking ability. If it has no cast time, imagine a paladin's casting a Divine Favor heal, and you throw it on him, and then instead of healing his partner for 240k, he kills him instantly. Or you could do it on a Chaos Bolt. That's fucking sick. This is probably one of the coolest things I've seen. I think there's an incredible high skill cap on it. Maybe it needs a cast time. Maybe it's really unbalanced if it doesn't have a cast time. Maybe it could just be a short cast time, like 0.5 or something. But that's fucking awesome. That's really, really cool. And we need a counterplay? I agree. Otherwise, you could just murder people with it. But that's really cool. That's one of the coolest abilities I think I've seen. And it fits totally into the Priest toolkit with an ability called Mind Games. Like, that's awesome. Wow. Explosion of Dark Energy heals nearby allies and affects nearby enemies with an Holy Transfusion. Holy Transfusion deals shadow damage over time. Enemies who damage this target receive healing. That seems pretty cool. It's like a little bit of like a Judgment of Light thing. I mean, when I see stuff like this, I just don't know how powerful they're actually going to be. You know? How much healing are they going to receive? How much damage is it going to do? How much healing is it going to do? That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool. I like it. I think I like the Priest stuff the most, actually. Deal arcane damage to an enemy, extracting their anima to anima charge a combo point. Damaging finishing moves that consume the same number of your combo points as your anima charge. Deal damage if they consume 7 points. Oh, God. Okay, so I'm really scared about this. So this is what people were saying with... This is 7-second kidney shot, right? Anima? Sorry. Anima? Anima? Is this 7-second kidney shot? Because... Oh, wait, no. This is an 8-second kidney. Because there's only 5 combo points right now. So this would be an 8-second kidney shot. I'm not going to complain too much. Oh, it says damage? Damaging finishing moves. Okay, okay. If it doesn't work on kidney shot, I think that's good. Could be crazy, though. Could be some fat-ass abysses. Sure. Slaughter a target causing physical damage. The target's anema mixes with your lethal poison, coating your weapon for the next 5 minutes. Slaughter poison deals shadow damage over time and steals a percentage of healing done to the target. Oh, wow. Steals a percentage of healing. It's also... Dude, this seems crazy. So are you telling me an assassination rogue is not only going to have wound poison, but now they're going to have fucking necrotic strike? That sounds scary. That sounds scary. I'm a little afraid. That could be really good. This sounds like it's going to be good for sub, for like big burst. This sounds like it could be kind of crazy for like assassination or something. Embed a bone spike in the target, dealing physical damage over time until they die. Holy shit, bro. That seems a little fucking permanent. Attacking with serrated bone spike causes all of your active bone spikes to fracture and strike your current target, increasing initial damage by a percentage per spike. I don't know how good that's going to be, but could be good. Could be good. Alright, I'm almost done. I really got to poop. Alright, I'm really excited to see Shaman. We only have 2 here, so hopefully these are interesting. Summon a totem at the target location for the next 30 seconds. Your next 3 damage spells or abilities will cause the totem to radiate arcane damage to enemies near the totem. And your next 3 healing spells will heal up to 6 allies near the totem. Casting the ability again while the totem is active will relocate the totem. Sounds like an additional cooldown that Shaman can have. Do we need it? I'm not 100% sure. Your next 3 healing spells will heal up to 6 allies. So maybe it's like a mini ascendance, possibly. Could be good. It doesn't sound uninteresting, and I'm happy that we're getting something in a totem. You know what I mean? Like it's an additional totem. Like shamans are kind of about totems. Can it be killed? I don't know. You know what's really interesting? What's the range on it? So, like, for example, if my DPS is in the middle of the map, and I'm behind a pillar, and I put my totem right here, and I'm the shaman and I'm casting right here, and I'm casting heals on myself, does it go to the totem, which heals my partner out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you be really cheeky with it with line of sight? It says near. Can maybe still do some, like, freaky things with line of sight there. Send a wave of anema at a target, which jumps to an additional nearby target, deals shadow damage to enemies, and restores health to allies. For each target critically struck, the cooldown on Chain Harvest. I mean, this seems really boring. This seems like a PvE, like AoE thing. So this one seems cool. I'm happy about that one. I'm only looking at these from a PvP standpoint, by the way. Deal arcane damage instantly and additional arcane damage over time. The enemy dies while affected by scurrying, whatever the fuck that's called. Generate additional soul shards. If they survive, scurrying, whatever it's called, is refreshed. So there's something that I'm curious about here. There's an ability that Affliction Warlocks got that makes them do damage instantly based off dots they have on a target. Would this be considered one of those damage over time effects? So that's what I'm curious about. Call forth a cloud of chaotic anema that travels through target enemy, dealing shadow damage to enemies within their path. When anema reaches, the target explodes, inflicting a random curse and dealing shadow damage to all nearby enemies. I mean, I feel like the random curse is kind of lame. Well, not lame, but I feel like it's kind of useless. It's kind of like a Song of Chi-Chi type thing. I'm not really sure how good it's gonna be. But yeah, I don't think that sounds that good. Hurl bolt of shadow magic at the target, dealing shadow damage and increasing damage of your next incinerate, drain soul, or shadow bolt. Not sure how good this can be. Could be good. I really don't know. I'm going to go over Warrior really quick because I got to go to the bathroom so bad. Throws a Kyrian Spear at the target location, dealing arcane damage instantly, dealing additional damage over time, generating rage. Enemies hit or tethered to the spear location for the duration. Oh, wow, that's actually interesting. We actually see this at the top here. Let's go and take a look. So right here, you throw it there, and then I guess you can't get away from the spear for the duration. So, like, if that's actually kind of great. If you're fighting, like, a mage or something, maybe they can't even blink out of it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's actually huge outplay mechanics like that. If you're fighting a Mistweaver monk or a Resto Druid, you throw that spear down, and they can't move for the entire duration. Like, they're stuck in it. That could be pretty crazy. Condemn a foe to suffer for their sins, causing shadow damage, only usable on enemies who are above 80% health or below 20% health. Replaces execute. Primary target is weakened, preventing a moderate amount of damage they would deal to you. If your foe survives, a portion of the rage spent is refunded. Okay. Brandish the banner of the Necrolords, increasing your moon speed and causing mortal strike, raging blow, and shield slam to generate you glory. Killing enemy grants additional stacks of glory. Reactivating this ability plants the banner in the ground, granting increased amount of maximum health and additional speed to you and your allies within the range of the banner. Interesting. I don't think that sounds too good in PvP because you want to get additional stacks by killing enemies. Could be good in BGs. But yeah. I feel like some of the things I've seen seem pretty cool. Some of them seem not so cool. But my general thoughts on it are, I like what I see, actually. I really do like what I see. So that is pretty cool.